It's Saturday Night Live with Donny Walker. I just thought that'd be funny. It's not very often Saturday night I'm at home working in my shop or just goofing around. I did a lot of cleaning up in here today, organizing it and trying to get the workstations set up better. It's funny, I'm doing that workstations where I'm a one-man band, but I just like to have everything all in these situations I'm doing, tearing them apart, new ones to modify, or rebuilding old ones where they take time and they're laid out on the bench longer, so you need to, have more space. Or, you put them back in a box every time, you bring it back out, it's nice to have a couple benches for doing different stuff, right? So, this one's my assembly bench, right? It's got my best tools on it, right? You don't need a lot of tools for chainsaw fixing, right? Like those multi-tools still has. I'm going to do a video on those next week. I got Cheyenne from the saw shop to order me some more of those multi-tools from Still. They make two different versions, and I think it's M10 and M13 or something, or 19. So these multi-tools, it's like a leather mat, and you can pretty much rebuild a Still saw with the toolkits, and I'm going to show you on a video of that. But why I'm saying that is because, even here, I have my main Torx drive on my impact and socket or ratchet that I use, a T27. Then I have a few more Allen ones, 5mm, 4mm, different T-wrenches, about 6 of them, pair of Ninolos side cutters, a few sockets. You don't need a lot of stuff. But then you get into the specialty stuff like crank splitters and pullers and stuff, but that's not bad either. You don't need a lot of them either. I made a lot of homemade one years ago. I've showed you that before I was able to even order anything off Husky or Still, or even if they actually made them in those days. But we made our own mostly and used an arbor press and did all our own type separating and putting back together. But anyways, won't talk about that too much tonight. Just rambling on. Had an interesting message today from Matt, Spartan Timber Falling. He brought me this old 385, which has got a whole bunch of fins missing on it here. And, it's got some miles on it. It's a 2006. Wow, it's a bit old, eh? So, it's in, not bad shape though, right? It's got the fins missing. It was still running, but it was running a little crappy, he said. So I'm going to take it and check the bearings out on the bottom end. Probably put some seals in it. And this is getting you my test saw for 390. These old 385s, their cranks lasted forever. We didn't have crank problems like we had with 390s where crank bearings were going, rods were breaking. I had a whole side of a crank break a couple months ago on one, which is totally unusual. But it's nice now that Husqvarna is offering short blocks. Almost I should put a short block in this and then a new top end, but you know what? We're going to leave it original. The old 385 bottom end crank. Let's see how long this thing will last. It's already from a 2006. Who knows how many hours he's got on it. It's too bad these old ignition systems, you couldn't hook them up onto the computer like with the new ones and find out the running hours of it, let's see how much that ran. That'd be incredible, Like thousands and thousands of hours. You think of those little bearings down there, little 6202, 6203 bearings spinning around at, in the wood, 89 to 9600. Torquing in there in the wood, for hours during the day for many years. It's a lot of revolutions. There's millions and millions of revolutions. I used to have a mathematical chart at the old shop, and I wish I would have kept it. It showed you the first day running your saw turned so many million revolutions, and after a year, all this, the tally from that, Pretty amazing. These little bearings in here, So that's why you have to have good 2-cycle oil and good gas and keep your air filters clean. So Matt here, this is his saw. And he's out fighting the fires with a bunch of my other friends. Rich Townsend, I seen you on the news the other night. Smiling face there, buddy. Thanks for helping out the province, all you guys, all you firefighters. But we're going to get into this. This is going to be the highway cylinder I'm going to put on there, the 390 from Matt. And I'm going to measure port time this 385. I haven't done one for years. I don't know if it's still stock or it's been modified. He's got a modified muffler on there that I didn't do, and I know who did it. It would have been done from Deke up in Campbell River. He uses that type of screen, and that's his type of welding. Funny, eh? He's an old faller that I taught how to do mechanics, actually, and he worked from home for his retirement up in Campbell River. Nice fella, Dietmar. So he asked me a question. What should we be doing with our saws in the firefighting field? They're cleaning their filters lots, you know, changing plugs, fuel filters. But what's it doing to the motors, and what can they do to the motors to stop the carbon buildup and stuff like that? Well, that's a darn good question. I kind of thought about that before, but I never really got too involved with it. I think most of the time, you look at this air filter, for example, right now. I haven't cleaned this. This is the way he brought it to me. You know, it's definitely just got the fine dust in there, eh? Like fir bark. Yeah, fir bark. It's a real fine dust, eh? And it's really bad. Husqvarna's are the best filter system on the market for sure. Like inside his throat of his carburetor flange here, there's nothing in there. So these filters work. The HD filters on Huskies are far superior to their competition. But you still got to be on top of them. Sometimes in those big furs, these guys have got to take these off, tap them out like that, and all that stuff falls out of them. I'm not kidding you. You get a huge big pile of that fines, right? Or they need to have a spare one too, but they need to do that because one of the reasons with these ones, for example, is you don't have a carburetor compensator on a Husky. So when your filter's getting plugged, you're losing power. It's running rich, and there's more carbon buildup, and you're not getting the performance. So you need to be tapping these out. Or sometimes, years ago, in that extreme condition, we ran these foam filters around here, a pre-filter. Maybe, Matt, that might work in the fires. That pre-filter with oil on it. I wonder, though, if that hot, smoky air coming in there would mess around with that oil. Like just a foamy around here. I believe what I put on these was a Briggs & Stratton pre-filter off a lawnmower engine. They were like this wide, and I cut it in half, and then I put half on one and half on another, so you could do two filters with it. So you could put air filter oil on it, not chain oil or motor oil. You have to use foam air filter oil. It's totally different than anything, okay? And don't need a lot of it, just enough to cover it a bit, and that stops the fines, eh? So maybe something like that might work. Then on stills, when you have their old style filter, I think I got one right over here. Yeah, well, this is one of their newer ones, and they don't stop very much. Fines on these go right through the bottoms. Stills are really bad for filtration. The 6.6 or 660s with this type of filter versus their old one. 461s, 661s aren't that great either. Terrible. 462 is good though. 500's okay. You know, you can still put that those max filters on or whatever you call them. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, man. With the firefighters, yeah, you know, maybe running leaner gas. You know, like I had a friend of mine years ago. Lucky, up in Tassus area, ran following crew up there, and Lucky there, Deke there worked there. Deke, the saw mechanic there, the ex-faller. A bunch of friends of mine worked there. Who else worked there? Chad Gazzetti, Richard Nermy. Sean. Yeah, Sean Murchison worked for him too. Yeah, those guys ran Optimal for years. Optimal oil. Like 80 to 1. He used to buy a 45-gallon drum of Opti 2 office. A 45-gallon drum. And he made it all himself. Like he was from Germany, he was very precise with everything. So he'd, buy the big 45-gallon drum and obviously spin off 5 liters or 10 liters of oil at a time, then disperse it from there into his gas jug, right? But you know what? Everyone always said to him, I don't know if that's right using that stuff or whatever, eh? But hey, that's funny too. The Opti 2 was made in Germany and developed there where he's from, so maybe that's why he believes in it. And I believe in it too, because I never had an issue with any of his saws. We walkerized all his saws. They ran 066s, 084s, 394s, 372s, you name it. Dalmors, 143s or something like that, Never had any issues with bottom ends, anything like that. Yeah. So you know what? A lot of people are still old school, I run 32 to 1 still and 25 to 1. That's what the saw cap says. No, you don't need to do that, man. As long as you have your carburetor adjusted right and your motor tuned right, you can run 50 to 1 in almost everything. And you can run even leaner with AMS oil or like Opti, or there's a couple other ones, but those are the ones that I know are good. So, like I say, if you are going to run stuff like that, you want to make sure that you adjust your carburation system. Just watch what's going on with it. Pretty simple. You just got to think about it, right? Okay, yeah, firefighters, man. That's all I can think. Pre-filters. Keep it clean. It's got to be really abrasive on the bar and chain, so you probably want to be like cleaning the grooves of your bars out good. You don't take you can even take your bar plate, or something, and go right down your bar channel and clean out your groove, right? That'll get rid of all that soot and stuff in there, so your bars and chains will oil better too. Grease some stuff up as well. I know you guys have hard days out there. It's hot. It's long days, so you don't feel like doing anything like that. I don't play. I wouldn't want it either. I don't even like 30-degree weather down here at the beach. I can imagine like 45, 50 and hotter when you're trying to fall with all that equipment on too. Saw pants and the shirt, the high vis, the hard hat. Oh my goodness, packing that saw. Boots on, socks on. Good for you guys, man. Totally thumbs up twice. Thanks for helping out the province, everyone, all you city workers, everything out there, man. And people, man, helping people out. That's the best thing, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be anywhere in the world. People should help out anyone if there's a crisis around you. If there's something going on like that around my town here right now, I would, put a thing on media, social media or whatever, and say, hey, man, I got an extra room, a camper, basement here. You can throw a couple of cots down. 6 or 7 family person could come here and hang out. I wouldn't mind. Anyways, okay, keep your saw on wood, stick in the ice, rubbing the road. I'm getting called upstairs to watch a movie. Oh yeah, Donny Walker, out from Saturday Night Live. Whatever, eh? Okay, have a good night, man. Have a good weekend. Bye.